Today, we're going to talk about the hidden costs of spiritual practices. As someone who was once very spiritual, and this was not too long ago, and as I've been on my journey to coming back to God fully, I want to talk about the cost of what it costs to indulge in these spiritual practices that are not of God. Okay, I do not judge. I'm telling you, I was very fond of astrology and numerology and um, zodiac signs and everything. Okay, but I am going to share personal experiences that you may realize is happening in your life if this is what you continue. If this is what you are doing, some people I know, some people are spiritual. And one thing about it is these spiritual gifts and knowledge and, and wisdom and insight, these are good, but that is if they are from within, okay? The numerology and the astrology and the stars and the moon and everything, um, that is not necessarily from within. So let's get into it, okay? One thing about it is, let me get some water. My mouth is dry. All right, we're back. Okay. Now, ever since when I had my spiritual awakening, I was like, okay, I love astrology. I love all these things because they're helping me to learn about myself, right? It comes from a trauma when you want to get into these things because you felt misunderstood, or you come from trauma where you felt like you needed to read into people because of whatever it could have been. For me, I was very misunderstood. No one took the time to know me, ignored me, like, so I just never wanted others to feel that way. And I felt like I didn't even know me. And another thing, right? So another trauma is that you grow up and you don't know your purpose. That is a big thing. A lot of us don't know what we're meant to be doing, what we're here for, and we feel like we're stunted because other people around us are like, I want to be a doctor, and they go to school and they do that. And a lot of us did not move as fast or at the pace of others around us. And that's another reason why some of us get into learning astrology and learning numerology and learning anything of that nature, anything spiritual. So that's why I got into it personally. I was like, you know what? I don't know my purpose. It seems that if you look at your chart, you can figure it out. I'm looking at my chart. My chart looks pretty damn promising for me. Now, mind you, just because just because I am getting back to God and God fully doesn't mean these things aren't accurate nor real. It just takes away. Okay, it takes away from Him. That's why He doesn't want us overindulging and relying on that, right? So I'm not going to say that what we found out through these spiritual practices wasn't correct. Okay. Um, I've learned a lot about myself. I learned about my trauma. I mean, it talked about, oh, if you're a Pisces moon, you probably had a mother that was addicted to drugs or just was not there. And that is exactly the truth. I'm a 12th houser. When I tell you this is hard for me to let go. I'm a 12th houser. So it's like, I was all up in there. I was all up in that. Um, but I was idolizing it. That's what the cost was. It You don't realize you're idolizing it until later on as you're shifting from relying on it to getting closer to God, right? So the pros was I learned about myself. I learned what I needed to heal from and what purposes, careers, jobs, hobbies, and things best fit me and what does not work for me. Okay. And with the cards, divination, um, I made sure to only ask questions that benefit like my growth and what I needed to work on. So that helped as well. And I did a lot of healing throughout that time of spiritual practices. And you could, if you're watching this video, you could be doing that too. And I that's why I truly feel that God let me have that much time with doing so. The cons, the cost of that was the anxiety it brought when I felt out of alignment, the anxiety it brought when I would dig too deep into astrology and others' charts, not even just mine. Um, when you when you start studying less favorable placements in your chart, and especially as I am now 30, um, it was like, oh, Saturn return, and I'm looking into my chart, and the anxiety and the anxiousness it brought is because it makes you think about things that you don't need to worry about in that time, and you will end up manifesting these things into your reality because what you think about comes into your life if you constantly think about and you constantly tell yourself this is going to happen, right? So that is one of the the cost of getting into these things. I'm looking up my number. I'm realizing, oh, I'm a leader and things like that, but I'm expecting to be in these leadership positions, but yet I am constantly being led. Like I'm a leader. I know I have great leading qualities, but I just like, it made me expect more, like in job situations or, career wise. And it's like, that wasn't the reality. So you look into these things and you start thinking like, oh, well, okay, if my life path number is 1, then why am I not a boss yet? You lead in other ways. Maybe you're not supposed to be a boss. Maybe you're supposed to lead by just living your life authentically and, making a future for yourself, working on that until like, for example, I have had terrible bosses that like overlooked me and just thought I was beneath them in every way because I'm a person that needs more training. I need more time. I don't catch on to things quickly. Like the simple things, I can overthink it. But the difficult things, it's like, oh, I can catch on and flow, right? So I'm like, if I'm meant to be a leader, why am I like getting treated like this? But I'm meant to come in contact with with leaders that abuse their leadership so that when I'm put in my leadership position, I know how to treat people better and be a better leader, right? As I saw someone, I can't remember, but it was someone made a video about this and brought it back to scripture, and I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um and then like for astrology, I would look up everybody's charts. I wouldn't even like zodiac signs took over. I would get in a connection or go on a date or meet anybody and I'm instantly looking up their zodiac sign in their chart and I'm just finding everything's a red flag. Gemini moon, oop. Sagittarius, oop. I got Sagittarius in my 12th house. You a hidden enemy. Like what? Tell me not. These things did actually end up happening, but it was like I was never giving myself the chance to live in reality, to allow myself to experience people and people, places, and things because I am constantly thinking about, oh, let me not forget angel numbers. I'm constantly thinking about everything. Okay. On top of that, with spiritual practices, you're told to cleanse, you're told to do spell work, you're told to do affirmations, you're told to do cord cutting, all these things just to maintain protection over yourself. Once you start idolizing that, God's going to let things get to you because you're saying that, sorry, you're saying that you don't need his protection. You're going to light candles instead and do spells and stuff. So things were starting to happen to me, but by the grace of God, he never fully like let me go. You know, I'm just letting some people know like when you start choosing a path that you think is the way to go, you think, oh, because this is mainstream, this is popular right now, you have to keep up with all this stuff because you have opened yourself up to a spiritual realm, a portal to entities that you were never meant to open yourself up to, right? So now I'm going through things that didn't have to happen to me because I'm no longer relying on my faith with God and my relationship with God. I'm relying on spell work. I'm relying on um the spiritual practices that I have mentioned. But I never personally got into spell work. But now I felt like I have to cleanse my energy after, you know, seeing everybody and I couldn't even be around. I became very, very sensitive to energies and I still am. These spiritual gifts and knowledge and wisdom are given by God, okay, for sure. But you don't have to take it to divination. You don't have to take it into witchcraft. You don't have to take it into hoodoo or anything of that nature. It's for you to use for what God wants you to use it for, to prophesize, to help others, to help yourself, guide you through life. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sick of seeing all these videos that say, oh, you need to do spell work. Like, I don't want to do no spell work. What do I got to do now? What do you mean I got to do this? What do you mean I got to do that? I didn't like all that. That was just extra work. Some people like the spell work. They like doing that. Some people like the shadow work. I was like the shadow work. I like doing the shadow work. I like working on myself. I like helping others do shadow work. I didn't like the maintenance of being spiritually awakened, which when outside of God spiritually awaken you would be more of like, oh, you got to do the cleansing, you need to do all that stuff. So there's a lot of cons that come with it. Also, it opened up me in the dream state to a lot of scary things. Um it made me start overthinking everything. Like when my ears are ringing, I'm like, oh, now this and that. Now, mind you, there's still warnings. I still consider these things warnings. I still, I'm not letting go of my spiritual gifts, but I'm saying that if you idolize it, you won't allow yourself to live because you're always looking for the next sign. You get what I'm saying? And I'm giving examples with it. That's me ranting. um, and that is the downside. But the good side, after realizing that God wants me to come back to Him fully and let go of this overthinking and let go of the angel numbers and let go of the tarot cards and allow myself to be and stop worrying about what's happening in the future and definitely stop worrying about what happened in the past. Stop looking for clarity that God did not give you. Stop doing all that. You will really experience real peace. I am someone who loves their peace and I don't play about it. I come from chaos, okay? The first half of my life. Now, I thought I was at peace. I really did until I truly stopped looking into all the signs, zodiacs, numerology, spell work, divination, all that. When I said, first off, I cried. Okay. It took me a while. I'm still in the works of letting this go. And the one thing that was really hard was not tuning into the readings. Okay. Other readings, collective readings, right? Now, but I'm just at the beginning of experiencing true peace. Like I used to have anxiety of like, there'll be people that would be like, okay, you got to live in the moment. Spirit saying live in the moment, live in the moment. I'm like, how you want us to live in the moment? There's nothing but readings about what's coming in, who's thinking about you, this and that. Like, live in the moment. Come on now. Everything is being promoted to think about the future or to study past life and things like that. And so it's really hard to live in the moment. It without you realizing it, because you think that you really enjoy this stuff because it helped you. Okay. There's limits to it. If you choose to walk away from it and truly allow yourself to get closer to God and let go and let God, okay, that peace, the living in the moment that you've been praying and asking for, it happens because now you're you're giving it to God. When you meet new people, you give it to God. He gives you the discernment that you need. You say your prayers. If they stay, they stay. If they go, but it really helps to have a sound mind because now you are looking into everything and everyone. Anything you see, it becomes a sign. And sometimes, most of the time, it's not a sign that you need to look into. Okay. Um, Besides if it's communication from him, the Lord himself. Okay. Now I get to wake up and I can wake up at 555. And I don't got to be worried that there is going to be this scary change happening because 555 used to be an angel number I'm scared of. I don't look at 999 and think, what now? You know, I don't, I am learning to not look into someone's zodiac sign before I could get to know them for myself and think, oh, this person's an Aries. Well, I'm a Scorpio. What is an Aries and Scorpio? Like, come on. Um, I'm shaking my head at all this, like, but I'm telling you, I'm not devaluing anything. I'm telling you, I love this stuff, but the benefit of letting it go has been a sound mind. I wake up and I live for the day. Today. I'm not looking into this stuff anymore. And it's been so peaceful. And I feel like I can't even put into words. I'm just sharing this so that you guys could put this into practice too and just be and exist, because God truly just wants us to exist. He don't even want us to put all this. That's adding work to your day and to your mind and to your nervous system that is not needed. You're just adding more work, more stress. It's fun, yeah. It's interesting, but it's adding to the problem and not taking away. And it takes maturity and a perspective change to see it that way. And you will have to put it into practice too, because then you'll be like, oh wow, I haven't overthought anything today. Yeah, my ears are ringing, but I also blast my music in my headphones all day. Quite often. Um so but like I said, we are, some of us are the ear ringing and stuff like that. That is, we are moved. We live from the spirit and not of the flesh. So we are really connected to God and heaven and things of that nature. I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm still learning, because one thing I've learned is that God said, yeah, these spiritual gifts, don't lose your spirituality now, but like, you don't got to do the other stuff. And I'm like, I'm still connecting how that's supposed to exactly be. So, so yeah. And that's what I have for y'all. It's hard because, like I said, a lot of us, we learn this due to trauma. But now, if you still are curious about things, get into science and biblical facts. I know there's this lady on TikTok that I've been seeing a lot, and she's able to give you real facts about the nervous system, about things within your mind, body, and things that happen with scientific facts and biblical facts. And it's like, oh, okay, okay. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And if you do, it's like the angel numbers and the signs like that, it's God doesn't talk to us through that. Angels don't talk to us through that. But if you see them, maybe you got to open up the Bible to that page, to that number. It will pass. The phase will pass. As long as you are seeking, you don't even have to seek God. One thing about it is he seeks you. But as long as you are allowing him in, it will pass. So yeah, until next episode.